Hey everyone, so you're married to a US citizen. Awesome, but that path to a green card, it can feel like a total maze, right? Well, today we're going to cut right through all that confusion. Think of this as your personal roadmap, a step-by-step guide for the whole journey. So, if you've tied the knot with a US citizen or you're about to, you are in the perfect place. We are going to break down this entire process, I mean everything, from the very first form you fill out all the way to that incredible moment you get that green card in your hand. Okay, before we dive in, let's get one really important thing out of the way. Think of this as your guide, but not legal advice. You know, immigration rules, the forms, the fees, they change all the time. So your absolute number one go-to source for the latest info has to be the official USCIS website. That's uscis.gov. Seriously, bookmark it.
All right, let's kick things off at square one. We're going to cover the basics, but I also want to talk about a huge advantage you have right from the start.
The first piece of jargon you absolutely need to know is immediate relative. This isn't just a term, it's your golden ticket. Why? Because unlike almost everyone else, there's no yearly cap, no limit on visas for spouses of US citizens. So what does that mean for you? It means you get to jump the line. You skip the years, sometimes decades-long waiting lists that so many other people have to endure. That is a massive deal.
So, what's USCIS really looking for? Well, it boils down to four main things. First, obviously, you need a legal marriage. Second, your U.S. citizen spouse is the one who has to file the petition for you. Third, you, the foreign spouse, have to be admissible. That's just a fancy way of saying you don't have a background with serious red flags. And fourth, and this is a big one, you've got to prove your marriage is the real deal. Okay, step one. And listen, it doesn't matter if you're in New York or New Delhi. Every single couple starts right here. This is the absolute foundation for everything that comes next.
Let's get the terminology straight so you don't get lost in the paperwork. It's actually super simple. The U.S. citizen is the petitioner, because they're petitioning the government. The foreign spouse is the beneficiary, because they're the one who benefits by getting the green card. Petitioner and beneficiary. Got it? Good. So what actually goes into this first big packet? Well, you've got your main forms, the I-130 and the I-130A. Then you start adding the key ingredients. Proof your spouse is a U.S. citizen, your marriage certificate, proof that any previous marriages are officially over, some passport-style photos of both of you, and, of course, that all-important evidence that your marriage is legit. And now for the part that requires a deep breath. Patience. The wait time. As of now, we're seeing estimates for this first step go as high as 59.5 months. Now listen, that number can be scary, and it changes all the time. That's why you have to check the official USCIS Processing Times website for the most current estimate. All right, so once that I-130 is sent in, your journey hits a major fork in the road. And which path you take depends entirely on one simple thing. Where is the foreign spouse living right now? This is probably the most critical decision point in the whole process, so let's break it down. Path number one is adjustment of status. This is for you if the foreign spouse is already in the U.S. legally. You'll handle pretty much everything from inside the country. Path number two is consular processing. This is for you if the foreign spouse is living outside the U.S. Your case will eventually go to a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad for that final interview. In the U.S. or abroad, that's the question. Now, for those of you on the adjustment of status path, there's another great perk called concurrent filing. It's a game changer. It means you can bundle everything together and file it all at once. The I-130 petition, the main I-485 green card application, the financial support documents, the medical exam. You can even throw in applications for a work permit and a travel permit to use while your case is pending. It's like a giant all-in-one package. Okay, let's switch gears for a second. It doesn't matter if you're adjusting status or going through a consulate. This next part is the absolute heart of your case. It's the one thing everyone has to do. Prove your marriage is real. The official term USCIS uses is bona fide, which is just a Latin phrase for in good faith. What they're saying is, show us you got married because you want to build a life together, not just as a shortcut to a green card. That's the core question you have to answer for them. So, how do you actually prove it? You tell a story with documents. Think about how you've combined your lives. Do you have a joint bank account? A lease or mortgage with both your names on it? Are you on each other's insurance? Do you have kids together? Those are the heavy hitters. Photos from vacations, letters from family and friends, those are great too, they add color to the story, but the paperwork that shows you've mixed your finances, that's the evidence that speaks the loudest. All right, fast forward.
You've sent in mountains of paper, you've aced your interview, and then you get that magic word, approved. It's an amazing feeling. But believe it or not, the journey's not quite done. Let's talk about the final stretch. So, there's a little twist. If you've been married for less than 2 years when you get approved, USCIS gives you what's called a conditional green card. It's only good for 2 years. Think of it as a probationary period. Then, just before it expires, you file another form, the I-751, to remove the conditions. You basically just send in more proof that you're still a legitimate couple. Once they approve that, boom, you get your 10-year permanent green card. And here's one last amazing perk to keep in mind for the future. You know how most people with a green card have to wait 5 long years before they can even think about applying for U.S. citizenship? Well, for you, as the spouse of a citizen, that wait is slashed down to just 3 years. It's a fantastic fast track. Okay, let's wrap this up with some practical stuff. We got to talk about the money, the fees, and I want to leave you with the absolute best resources to use. Yeah, this process isn't cheap. The government filing fees definitely add up. Here's a quick look at the ballpark costs for the major forms right now. But let me say this again, these prices will change. Before you ever write a check or enter your credit card info, please go to the official USCIS fee calculator to make sure you have the exact up-to-the-dollar amount. Honestly, this slide right here might be the most important one of all. Take a screenshot, write these down, bookmark them. These are your lifelines. This is where you get the real, accurate, up-to-the-minute info on forms, fees, and those crazy processing times. Forget what you read in some random online forum from 3 years ago. Go straight to the source, always. And there you have it. That's the roadmap. From start to finish. I know it looks like a lot, but when you break it down step by step, it's a journey you can absolutely navigate. So now that you've got the map in your hands, I have a question for you. What's the very first document you're going to go track down to start building your packet?